answer. What's up? Okay, so we're going to read the card description and then do the actual reading after. Okay? And this particular card is from the Herbal Astrology Oracle deck by Adriana Ayales. Okay? And this particular card is Rose with the subtext of love. Okay? Union, bliss, unconditional love, merging with the other, oneness, nourishment, purity. Ancient text in Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, the rose had a prominent presence, particularly in relation to balancing emotions, relieving the heart of depression and grief, treating psycho-spiritual imbalances. Rose is sacred to Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. Since the ancient times, across the cultures, rose was associated to love, passion, commitment, and lust. The Romans, Greeks, and occult societies suspended roses from the ceilings at meetings that were held in the strictest of confidence. Roses represents all aspects of the goddess, the almighty creatrix, the ability to love, nurture, experience joy, and see beauty in all things. A popular flower that has come to be associated with weddings, weddings and rituals of union. Roses fill vases, are worn by participants and guests, and are often strewn about to bring divine blessings to the couple's love. The herbs of the Venus are feminine, gentle, relaxing, and balancing. Medicinally, rose has the power to uplift mood, nourish the heart, and cardiovascular system. It makes an excellent uterine tonic that supports fertility and vitality. The antiseptic nature of rose makes it an excellent remedy for wounds and bruises. It also relieves spasms in the respiratory system, the gut, intestinal tract, and muscles. Rose's medicinal and energetic qualities resemble the archetypical nature of both Venus and the moon. It is time to allow for greater love in your life. Oh, this is the guidance portion. Allow the dance of trust and intimacy to heal and open your heart. Like the rose, you are rising from the harsh soil through the path of the thorns and challenges as you grow and blossom in your spiritual journey. Look deep into your heart and see where you might need more love and affection. The white dove reminds us through childlike trust we can navigate the most challenging of pathways with an undertone of joy and presence. Remember, you understand how love is the doorway, and through this sacred embodiment, you are able to birth anything into manifestation. Let all creativity, all sexual and nurturing connection be attuned to the vibrational powers of unconditional love. There is, I guess, a few things. I guess when I first seen this card, I was thinking like, wow, okay, well, if anybody's in a love story, that'd be pretty pretty ideal, I suppose, in terms of this what's happening right now. And I am not gonna. I feel like that sounded so bitter. I am totally like not trying to sound like that. If I am. But the idea here is, I think it's really, seeing that, having that come out, being, a part of this idea of, I guess, union in general. You need to understand that there's an element that you guys need to really, really take hold of in terms of a responsibility in a union. And that is really making sure that this particular whatever relationship, maybe under you maybe a part of now, you need to make sure that this is something that is emotionally satisfying to both, you and the person, right? And I don't mean don't like do the annoying thing and just be like, hey, you love me, right? like I absolutely hate that. Just be really understanding and try to see and engage that. It's there's things that you want to really, really provide in the world, and this is, or in the world in terms of for yourself and for your significant other. A few things. I am like, if you guys tell anybody, no. Okay, but here are a few ideas. For instance, like if you have like just aromatherapy type things, right? So like for instance, senses. We have this thing with senses in general, right? So we got this crazy humanistic or human machinery, but we're known as the bad smellers. But it's not because of our machinery, it's because of how much conscious information or conscious energy that we actually give to the idea of smell. But subconsciously, when you smell something familiar, you're just like, wow, you're taken to what you can be taken to a completely different place. Play with that understanding of smell. And I'm not gonna give you like all of my like tips and tricks here, but the idea here is like play with the concept of smell, and also like try to put it in places and try to make it like for instance, like if you got like, yeah, I'm picturing like somebody like opening up their car and just having like kind of a card where they smell certain things. And you can, like I said, I'm not gonna give out everything. So don't ask. But in terms of the idea here is, when people start playing with that concept of smell, you can create some very beautiful environments. So try to do that, and try to do that in certain ways, right? And really try to play with that. But this idea of also you don't have to always be just over. For instance, you don't have to always put, that it doesn't have to always come from flower pots on the table. Even though flowers are nice, flowers are great, and keeping those out is nice, but you can do it subtly, right? Like you don't have to make everything, you don't have to put the flowers in the middle of the table. You can put them literally like in a corner somewhere or something like that, to where they circulate, the air circulates the actual aroma itself, and create like a good, basically just creating a more ideal environment, right? And this is for people who like live with their significant other for some, whatever that can, like whatever situation, to where you can take advantage of the environment. Also, I'll say this idea of the rose and sacred, and what's happening. I had to stop for a minute, because I had like I don't know why, but the idea of roses being really suspended from the ceiling, in terms of at meetings where you're talking about the most secret of secret meetings. Something like really tells me that whatever you guys may do to dress up this place, or dress up whatever you guys may do to kind of like, or can do to maybe like create environments in general, you might want to really, really think about that, right? Because there's a very, very real impact that we have, right? We talked about how this idea of smell can translate to various different things in terms of the way you interact with the world around you, and what it means to the human body in general and what it does. We have this kind of this one-dimensional understanding of Rose to where we didn't see it, or we don't see it as something that people hold and really would stick to the top of, just the most secret of secret meetings to try to protect that particular space. But maybe you need to think about that. Maybe you need to really, really hammer down on what is, what can you do here? What can you actually create? And what kind of what kind of energetic environment do you really want to create in general, right? Or engineer in general. Very important, and it could be very much something that can help in general, right? And this idea of how you can play, I don't know, I'm getting like the idea of like just smell in general, or just what that particular the machinery smell. There's also like if you want to hear more about that, I got like there's a link to this, to the Renaissance sermon that I do, and this is if this does interest you in terms of that particular idea, talk about a particular article where they talk about the actual machinery of the human biology and how things are. But you can look at the actual link. It's in episode 6, and there's like literally like timestamps, so you can kind of like just go to it and listen to it. I think it's like 15 minutes maybe, or something like that. But if anything, it's definitely the next thing that really came to mind was the idea of these things that we do on a regular basis, right? The what is it called? The magic in the mundane, right? Like there is magic in the mundane, and some of you may need to find that and really harness that, and you start to use that as kind of a tool set, right? Not to manipulate anybody that may be a significant other, but the idea here is like, if there's magic in the mundane and it can help you, maybe even learn that with that person, and start to kind of play with it, play with the idea of the mundane with that person, with an understanding of the magic that is, that we call everything magic when we don't understand it. But, so it's magic today, but it may not be magic tomorrow. Really start to look at the mundane, and try to see what kind of magic you can extract out of it. And like with that being said, what did I say? There's a episode. It's episode 6, and it's like, I think it's like one of the last or the second to last, one of the other, last or second to last segment. But it's about the human machinery or something like that. And if anything, I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you next week.